It's time for Mornings at 8 with Jonathan Mark on AM 1480 WLEA.
Oh, yes, it is time for Mornings at 8, 5 minutes after 8 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. Tuesday, that's right. The best that can be said for Tuesday is at least it's not Monday all over again. So we have the beginning of the week all done. Very good. Well, it's a typical fall morning. Kind of brisk out there, very pleasant. A little bit of fog here and there. We had an overnight low in greater metropolitan Almond of 37. It was 37 this morning, so it's really not bad. It's a typical fall day and awfully nice. Now, Brian, now do I have this straight? Now, this happened in Groveland or something, but you have a guy... Let me see if I get this straight. Okay, the guy slaps a cigarette out of another guy's face.
Nicotine.
Or something. So, okay... So, but the guy the slapper, had weed on him or something,
yes.
Right? And so the slappee is smoking a regular cigarette. And the guy who does the slapping has weed on him.
The slapper, yes.
Okay, the slapper and the slappee. Okay, so smoking cigarettes is bad for your health and bad for other people, but it's okay if you have weed on you or smoke weed or something. I don't know. It's very strange. Some people are really anti-smoking. You know, they'll walk up to you and yell at you or something. I don't know. Okay, fine. And another thing, too, you had is that there's a new law where an employer cannot ask a prospective employee what their past salary history is.
Yeah.
Or something. So why would you want to know what a person's past salary history is? I don't understand that.
Why would or would you or would not?
Why would you even bother? You know?
I think it's a job interview thing, so they get a sense of, you know, how much money do you want?
Well, they could ask you that, you know, but I don't think what you made in the past would have any bearing on what you make in the future. But I don't know. Anyway, okay, there we are. So, let me see what's going on. Well, in Washington, it's nothing but impeach, impeach, impeach. That's right. Been going on for a long time. You should be impeached. No, you should be impeached. You stop. No, you stop. And that it just goes back and forth and back and forth. And blowing whistles. And another thing, too, this whistleblower thing. And I thought of that. I think probably a lot of people have thought of this. But with these whistleblowers coming forward, allegedly, if somebody accused you of something, I haven't heard anybody say anything about this, but I'm sure a lot of people are thinking of it or about it, is that if somebody accused you of something, wouldn't it be right if you knew who did the accusing? Right? So a person or two or three, who knows, have come forward and accused President Trump of this, that, and this, and that, and this, and that. Don't you think you would have the right to know who your accuser is? So this accuser, whistleblower, is being held in an undisclosed location. This is all very strange. This is all very strange. This is right out of, you know, the Soviet Union or, you know, communist China or something where somebody accuses you, but you don't know who the accuser is. And I think it's all very strange. And speaking of which, a couple of weeks, was it last week or something? I said that the Democrats and the media were talking about impeaching Trump about 2.5 seconds after he was elected. And I said, yeah, that's probably right, about 2.5 seconds after he was elected. Well, was I wrong? By about 7 months. This appeared on the Politico website on April 17th, 2016. Now you think April 17th, 2016, April, May, June, July, 7 months before Trump was elected, right? Duly elected. And this was written by Darren Samuelson. And he wrote that a Trump presidency could be so disruptive in April of 2016 that he has critics on the right and the left discussing the most extreme of countermeasures at an unusually early point in the race. 7 months before the election. Yeah, that's unusually early. And he wrote, impeachment is already on the lips of pundits, newspaper editorials, constitutional scholars, and even a few members of Congress. Remember, this is April of 2016. It's not unusual for controversial presidents to be shadowed by talk of impeachment once they've been in office long enough to make people mad. But before he's elected, before he's a nominee, constitutional experts of all stripes say it's surprising for impeachment talk to bubble up this early. But then Trump has been throwing around some surprising ideas for a leading candidate, and doubtless many of Trump's foes would like to see him impeached just on principle. The quickest way to broom out a leader who horrifies the inclusive sensibilities of Democrats and has blown apart the Republican Party he's nominally part of. So that's what he wrote April 17th, 2016, 7 months before the election. So apparently impeachment was a first resort for Democrats and the media, of course, because at that point it had become pretty clear that Trump was probably going to win the GOP nomination. So even, at that point, few people thought that he could actually win the presidential race because who was his opponent? Hillary Clinton, right? So very few people thought that. But even at that point, there was talk of, well, if just on the purest maybe off chance, if he does win, let's impeach him. So this has been going on for more than like a month or two, or 3 months, or 6 months, or a year. This has been going on since way before he was elected. I think that's pretty strange. And I still like to find out why he cannot see or find out who is accusing him. I mean, that's the Soviet Union. That's Marxist. That's communist China. Or Nazi Germany, let's say. I mean, the whole thing is pretty darn weird, Anyway, okay, that's about enough of that. How about, let me see. Oh, yesterday, this is Tuesday, right? Yesterday, have you heard of the group Extinction Rebellion? Now, Extinction Rebellion is a really radical climate activist group. And they were protesting all over the place yesterday. I mean, let me see, Sydney, Australia, London. That's where this thing started, was in London, the Extinction Rebellion. And they were protests in Sydney, Australia, London, New Delhi, Dublin, Amsterdam, Paris, Berlin, and more. All over the planet. And what were they protesting? Well, they were protesting climate or climate change. So apparently you can protest if the climate's changing. Okay, fine. Anyway, and also in New York City and Chicago and Washington. This was like all over the place. More than 20 people were arrested by the cops in New York City's financial district after Extinction Rebellion climate protesters poured fake blood over the famous Charging Bull statue. That's a symbol of American capitalist might. Now, I found this on Empire, New York. So, okay, they poured fake blood over the Charging Bull statue, a symbol of American capitalist might, which, of course, as everybody knows, that's really what they're really at heart, that's really what they're against, is capitalism. Anyway, the protesters launched a wave of disruptive protests in the city on Monday, yesterday. A smaller number of arrests were made at a die-in outside New York Stock Exchange, with protesters subsequently blocking a nearby road to traffic. So, I don't know how how is this going to affect any climate change? Pouring fake blood over the famous Charging Bull, a bull market, right? How is it going to affect climate change? I don't know. Maybe it's magic. The only thing I can think of is magic. It's weird. Anyway, protests were also taking place in other New York cities, including, I just said that, Washington, Chicago, blah, blah, as part of a global week of action by the UK-founded activist group, which is seeking to make its first major mark in America. Extinction Rebellion organizers expect several thousand people will congregate in New York's Washington Square Park for a week of protests and speeches that are expected to involve actions that will prompt further arrests. Who is this? It doesn't say who it is. A spokesman. Okay, fine. There will be broad disruption of business as usual. Frankly, we don't have time to wait for an opportune moment. Climate breakdown is underway, and we can't afford to wait. And there should be an exclamation point, only there isn't. Anyway, we can't afford to wait. Okay, so they have a philosophy of nonviolent direct action. Stupid but nonviolent. Okay, fine. Pouring fake blood over a statue is not exactly violent. It's kind of dumb, but I suppose it's not violent. Anyway, so they're very upset. And where else? Anyway, so one of their key demands is that the planet warming carbon dioxide emissions are reduced to net zero within 6 years. 6 years. Might as well be 6 days. But anyway, they say 6 years. And, of course, they have a large following in the UK. That's where this whole thing started. And let me see. Activists are hoping for a similar impact in the U.S. despite concerns over a more aggressive style of policing and an unsympathetic federal government led by, guess who? That's right, Donald Trump, that actively promotes fossil fuels and is regularly derisive of climate science. We need to account for the damage caused by fossil fuels because we have a chance of losing it all, said Jim Navarre, a protester from Long Island who held up a sign reading, "You can't comb over climate change," with a picture of Trump's hair atop the globe. So, then there was this lady, Yana, I guess that's right, Yana Landau, also from New York, said she was inspired to join the protests by British friends. "I see this as a movement, and I need to get behind. I realized I had to bring my whole being to this movement," she said. Okay. The stock exchange protest featured a mock funeral with people strewn on the ground covered in blood. I still, how is this going to change the climate? If it's going to snow, it's going to snow, right? If it's going to be hot, it's going to be hot. I don't see how this is going to change anything. But maybe they think it will. I don't know. It's magic or something. Tombstones mentioning hurricanes and fires made worse by the climate crisis were held aloft, along with a coffin with the words, "Our Future," written on the side. And a New Orleans-style funeral band played for the several hundred protesters. Well, music's always good. It's a powerful message, Landau said, but more than death, I fear living amongst the terror of people killing each other for water and food. Wow, that's pretty dark. So we're all going to be killing each other for water and food because it's raining or it starts snowing or something. I guess maybe that's... Anyway, there they go. Okay, let me see. Oh, I had a related story. Where was this? Speaking of which... That's right. Speaking of climate change, global warming, right? Global warming. This is from Breitbart. Global warming. Britain braces for coldest winter in 30 years. So I don't know how the coldest winter in 30 years relates to global warming, but that's what we have. Okay, let me see. Researchers from University College of London are forecasting an average temperature in the UK of just 39 degrees for January to February in what is expected to be the coldest weather in 30 years. Yahoo News reported Saturday that they are expecting snow event after snow event in the UK this year. Forecasters expect the long-lasting cold spell to begin sometime this month and to continue at least through March. October, who's this? Exacta weather forecaster James Madden. He says October is now looking like it will turn out to be colder than average with more than a chance of something wintry setting in through the second half of the month. There's a strong chance of widespread frosts and the chance of snowfall which will set the scene for November, Madden said, and this will pave the way for what is shaping up to be a colder than average winter with some extreme cold weather events. Okay, let me see. Current sea temperatures combined with a weather system over the North Atlantic suggest that a freezing vortex of Arctic air could hit the country later this month, Yahoo's Victoria Bell reported. The system will presumably descend from the North Pole, ushering in a swath of low pressure spanning from Greenland to the northwest coast of Ireland. And in the estimation of some meteorologists, the 2019-2020 cold spell will rival the bitter winter of 1963, that's quite a long time ago, believed to have been the coldest in 200 years. So I don't know how global warming figures in with all this, but anyway, I'm not sure. Anyway, late last month, a group of over 500 scientists and climate professionals sent a European climate declaration to the Secretary General of the United Nations, appealing for an open debate on climate change. And as part of this letter report, it reads, there is no statistical evidence that global warming is intensifying hurricanes, floods, droughts, and such like natural disasters or making them more frequent. The declaration signers insisted that public policy must respect scientific and economic realities and not just reflect the most fashionable trend of the day. It's a fad. Okay, fine. There is no climate emergency, it goes on. Therefore, there is no cause for panic and alarm, they noted. We strongly oppose the harmful and unrealistic net zero CO2 policy proposed for 2050. So, there we have it. I don't know. I thought everybody agreed that we're going to heck here. I mean, right? Global warming, man-made climate change, this and that, and we're all going to die anytime soon. So I don't know about that, but that's what they read, and so they're going to have a cold winter in Britain. And there you go. Right in the midst of all this global warming, I don't understand how that's possible, but I guess it is. Well, okay. Let me see. With all this cold weather coming, you never know what's going to happen. And you might even need insurance. I don't know if there's global warming insurance. I'm not sure. But if there is, you could probably find it at the Ryan agencies. Right here in Hornell and Jasper and Wellsville. It's like having your own personal insurance shopper. They do the insurance shopping for you, and they are insurance experts. They offer sound, unbiased advice. They have access to a whole bunch of insurance companies. So they say, let me see, what are your needs? What's your circumstances? How about this one? This would be the best. That's what they do. They shop insurance for you. They're friendly. They're local. They find the best insurance. They are the Ryan agencies.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
Check a postseason baseball. Game 3 ALDS. Yankees advance with a 5-1 win over the Twins. They sweep that series 3-0. Luis Severino and 5 relievers combined to hold Minnesota to just 1 run. Didi Gregorius drove in a pair of runs, and Cameron Maybin and Gleyber Torres each hit solo homers for New York. Game 3 ALDS. Rays stay alive with a 10-3 win over the Astros. Tampa hit 4 home runs. 3 came off of Houston starter Zach Greinke. Astros still have a 2-1 series lead. Game 4 NLDS. Nationals stay alive with a 6-1 win over the Dodgers. They win behind starting pitcher Max Scherzer and Ryan Zimmerman, who hit a 3-run homer. That series is tied at 2. Game 4 NLDS. Cardinals in 10 innings walk off with a 5-4 win over the Braves. Yadier Molina tied it in the 8th, then won it in the 10th with a sacrifice fly. That series is tied at 2. NFL Monday Night Football. 49ers roll over the Browns 31-3. 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo had a pair of touchdown passes. Running backs Matt Breida and Tevin Coleman rushed for over 200 yards and each scored a touchdown. San Francisco's 4-0 with the win. Cleveland 2-3 with the loss.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
The online information site Pop Sugar has been sold. The Wall Street Journal says Discovery Inc. is paying more than $300 million. Its unit Group 9 Media will own the Pop Sugar site. Both Kroger and Walgreens say they will stop selling e-cigarettes because of new concerns that vaping could be linked to lung disease and even death. The union representing Southwest Airlines pilots is suing Boeing, accusing it of causing $100 million in lost wages by grounding its 737 MAX fleet. Southwest estimates the grounding of the planes after 2 fatal crashes resulted in eliminating more than 30,000 scheduled Southwest flights. The Dow dropped 95 yesterday. NASDAQ was down 26. S&P lost 13. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
How can a fully stocked restroom improve your image? How can serviced fire extinguishers or first aid cabinet make your employees more prepared? How can comfortable work apparel make your business more productive? For over 1 million customers, the answer is simple. Cintas. Cintas delivers everything you need to open your doors with confidence. Because helping keep businesses well-equipped, clean, and looking their best, that's our business.
Oh, I'm ready!
Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
Today at Simmons Rockwell Hyundai. Drive away in a new Hyundai Tucson lease for only $229 a month. A new 2019 all-wheel drive Hyundai Tucson SE model equipped with 17-inch alloy wheels, touchscreen media, and rear view monitor. Lease with no money down for $229 a month for 36 months. Only tax and DMV fees are due at signing. Shop Simmons-Rockwell.com.
And here we are once again. Let me see. I got this from USA Today. Now, it's Barbie. I never thought I'd be talking about Barbie dolls on the air. Life is a strange thing, and so is radio. But here I am talking about Barbie dolls. Okay, fine. Barbie debuts Judge dolls and partners with GoFundMe to close the dream gap. And that's in quotes, dream gap. Something I never even knew existed, but we'll find out here. It says it's around at age 5 that girls start to doubt their intelligence, and boys don't. Okay, referred to as the dream gap, was proven by the dream gap was proven by researchers at NYU, the University of Illinois, and Princeton University. They found that stereotypes associate a high level of intellectual ability with men more than women. Thus, when young girls are exposed to these stereotypes, they don't always pursue careers that require intelligence. And this is with 3 universities, eh? Okay. This begins at prepubescence. Girls begin to avoid those brain-stimulating activities, and boys move on, creating a dream gap. Barbie, the 60-year-old doll brand made by Mattel, is trying to change that. Barbie, who's a global head of Barbie, okay, Barbie has had over 200 careers, says Lisa McKnight. She says, we'd like to say there isn't a plastic ceiling that Barbie hasn't broken. Still, every year, Barbie highlights a new career, especially one that is lacking feminine representation. And this year is Judge Barbie. So they've come out with these 4 dolls, and they have a picture right there. These 4 dolls, they come in a range of skin tones and hairstyles, and all of them wear the customary black robe and come with a gavel. Judge Barbie retails at $12.99 and is available at here, there, and the other place. So Barbie is closing the dream. Now, I don't know about that. I mean, I am lucky. I have been lucky my entire life because I could say, flat out, that every woman I have ever known is highly intelligent. Maybe I'm lucky, maybe I'm different, but I know I'm different, but maybe I'm lucky. I don't understand that. But all the women I've known in my life are really intelligent. So I don't think there was ever any dream gap with them. As I said, my mother, my grandmother, my aunts and uncles, aunts, my wife, my sisters. They were all really intelligent people. So I don't think any of them ever suffered from any kind of a dream gap. I don't know about that. Okay, fine. Well, maybe the women I've known have been pretty intelligent, but this lady is probably on the other side. A Florida woman wanted for allegedly shoplifting at a Big Lots store was arrested after trying to make her getaway through the ceiling. So, 37 years old, she was in the store in Port Charlotte, Florida, for several hours before she entered the women's restroom with a shopping cart full of merchandise. So she's in there for quite some time in the restroom. And the store manager goes, boy, she's been in there for a really, really long time. I wonder what's going on. So he tries to open the door, and it's blocked by garbage cans. So the door cannot be opened. So apparently she took these items and removed a ceiling tile and was trying to get away. So she's crawling over the ceiling, now the cops come, and they're chasing her in the ceiling, right? So the store was evacuated due to the danger of her falling through the ceiling. And this chase lasted for 6 hours. And she also had some drugs on her and this and that, and they finally caught her, so that's what happens. So there you go. Trying to make a getaway through the ceiling. Okay, little unconventional, but there you go. Alrighty, that's it for this morning's show, and I will see you tomorrow at 8:05. Bye.
hear ads in the radio talk about the IRS Fresh Start program. Does Cunningham Storing and Associates do that?
The Fresh Start program, also called Offer and Compromise, allows people to pay off their taxes for less than they owe. But it only works for some people. We have over a decade of success. Call us to determine if we can help you.
What about back taxes?
We help people file